Administration, that is SEM 3 Union Administration. In that, we will have an overall view of the completed topics. So today we will try to finish off the block 1. I'll give you an overall view. If time permits, we'll go on with the second block also. But first, I would like to give an overall view, that is an overall explanation about I can give you a summary of the block 1 topics, which will be helpful for your preparation for your exams. So first we will be talking about the block 1. In that block 1, we have 3 units, the 3 topics, that 3 units. That is, first one is evolution of Indian administration. Second one is Indian administration after an independence, continuity and change. Third one is constitutional framework of Indian Constitution. Now, first we will talk about evolution of Indian administration. Now, first we will try to analyze what is the title about. Evolution of Indian administration. How this, now in the first and second semester, you might have studied about administration and public administration. So, and a comparative study of the public administration. Now, we all know that Woodrow Wilson is the father of public administration. The working of the government institutions, or these come and the working for the welfare of the people, can be termed as the public administration. And you also might have studied about that public administration is the youngest discipline that is only 100 plus years old. But actually, when we talk about administration, that is way back in the 300 BC, that is an age-old one, that is, we can go way back into the history and we can see that administration is from the ancient time. Now, this administration, the evolution of administration is, this can be divided into 3 types, 3 administrations, 3 levels of administration. That is ancient, medieval, and modern. Ancient administration means the age-old one, where we talk about the kings, or we can say that we can see that the evolution of Indian administration in that can be divided into 3 parts. That is, the first one is ancient administration, medieval administration, and modern administration. Ancient administration consists of the Mauryan administration, Gupta administration, that is way back the Kautilya's period. Now we all know the founder of Mauryan administration is Chandragupta Maurya, and Chandragupta Maurya was the disciple of Chanakya, the well-known name Chanakya, or he is also being termed as Kautilya. So Kautilya and Kautilya was a professor in Takshashila University. So when we go way back into the history, in the Takshashila, in the Mauryan administration, we talk about the Mauryan administration, where it has given us. This Mauryan administration, or the Kautilya's period, has given us more of how we can go with the addressing the problems of the people, addressing the citizens' grievances. All these we can learn through this administration. Now, so when we talk about the Mauryan administration, what is the takeaway of this Mauryan administration or the Gupta administration? The Mauryan administration and the Gupta administration clearly explains us about it explains about where Kautilya plays a very, very important role in this Mauryan administration, where Kautilya explains the responsibilities and duties of each and everybody. And because when we see Now, when we see a state, or when we take a country as an example, each one of them have their own responsibilities and duties to perform. Because as a citizen, you have your own duties and responsibilities. Everybody, we just in a simple sense, we say that it is we say that this administration, in this ancient administration, we see that the Mauryan Empire, Kautilya explains about the responsibilities of the king, responsibilities of the citizens, responsibilities of the ministers, everybody, because he says that when each and everybody tries to do their job properly, then only the working or the administration or the working of the government and the taking care of the welfare of the people can be done in a smooth manner. So in this regard, Kautilya has explained this administration through a theory known as Saptanga theory. In this Saptanga theory, he explained that the state consists of 7 organs. Okay, the state consists of 7 organs. Now, what are those 7 organs, and what are their what is their actual function? He divides into 7, and these 7 organs are also termed as prakritis. Now, what are these? The first one is a king, then then Amatya. We have 7 organs. That is the king. The king is termed as Swami, then Amatya, then Danda, then we have Kosa. All these, there are the which will explain us, he tries to explain us, Mitra, all these explain us about the division of the state. Means the king, we all know that the king is responsible for all the activities or the decision making. Likewise, now the king he cannot take care. Now we have the government. Do only the chief minister work for us? No, the chief minister is helped by the council of ministers. Then the council of ministers are being helped by the civil servants. And for whom all these people are working? These people are working for the welfare of the citizens. So now now the decision making will be vested on one person only, but distribution of work will be given to each and everybody to work in a very efficient manner and to fulfill the basic facilities or basic needs for the people. Now, when we talk about our government also, the chief minister, the council of ministers, everybody work together to provide all the necessary facilities to the people and to take care of the people. So now it is here also in this ancient administration, in the Saptanga theory only, Kautilya explained us about the responsibilities and duties of each and everybody. And he says that when each and every organ, whether it is a Swamin or Amatya or the Danda, Janapada, Kosa, Mitra, now all these are the 7 organs. When all of them come together and work efficiently, then only the country can flourish. So he says that in administration is not vested on one person. Administration is about working together to reach a common goal. Now everybody will put in efforts to reach a common goal. Now, for example, you might have studied in your first semester. Now, taking an example of if a stone is being put on the road, and a person, when he looks at to that stone, he feels that now it has to be moved aside because somebody might get hurt. Now, but that person might not be able to move it because it is huge. So he will take an help of the other person. Now, when the other person understands the same pain of the A person, then he will also have the same understanding. When these two people have the same understanding and both of them have the same goal, that is moving that stone from one place to the other, then when both of their efforts have been put together, then the work is done. So that is termed as administration. Administration is bringing everybody onto one platform to make everybody work together to reach a common goal. Now, when you put this in the administration part, now the government or the ministers, the government, the civil servants, everybody, they all work together for the welfare of the people. That is the common goal. Hence, this can be termed as administration. Now, these all, for this, every institution, that is a government is an institution, like that, all the institutions come together and work. Now, when we talk about this now this is the latest one, but we can see this administration way back into the history, where Kautilya has explained this process of administration way back in 300 BC in his book, we can say, that is the Arthashastra. In the Arthashastra, he explained very well about the administration. That is, administration is nothing but working of the people who are being given the responsibility. So he says that when the king performs all the responsibilities and performs all the duties on time, then everybody will perform in an easy manner. That is, if the king performs his duties in a right manner, then the Council of Ministers also will perform in a right manner. So thereby giving or making way for the better administration. So we can say that this all is very, very, this can be way back in the ancient administration. We can see this. Now this only we are talking about these all. This is the Saptanga theory, where he divides 7 organs. He divides 7 organs and of the state and explains these. Now, when we talk about the administration, that is actually how these all will be connected, how the king is connected, how the ministers are connected, this can be termed as central administration. Now, this central administration consists of king, Council of Ministers, the Secretariat, civil servants, provincial administration. Now we will try to analyze what are these. Now the king is the lawmaker or the ultimate decision making, means center, that is, all the decision making power will be vested with the king only. Then the king is assisted by the Council of Ministers, who will be helping the king in taking proper decisions. That is, if the council, because only the king may not be able to take proper decisions or worthful decisions for the welfare of the people. So he should be having some, he should be having some important people who can give him good suggestions. So it is the responsibility of these council of ministers who are very, very valued and who have abundant knowledge, who can guide the king in a proper manner. So now this king is assisted by the council of ministers. Now these council of ministers and the king are being assisted by the civil servants. Now these civil servants can also be termed as a government officials, who will be the connecting link between the government and the people, because these are the people who know the citizens as well as the king in a close manner. So these civil servants can be termed as a connecting link. So the king, council of ministers, civil servants, and the provincial administration. Now, what is this provincial administration? Provincial administration is about division of a state into provinces, the state into provinces. Because now, on the whole, if a state, now for example, our state is there. Our state is being divided into many districts. Why? To have better administration. Better administration is when the government can focus on each and every district. So that if you have many districts, then the government can take care of all the districts and all the citizens. So dividing of power, distribution of power, whereby each district will have a district collector who will be taking care of each district. And then overall, the chief minister will be taking care of. Likewise, here also in the ancient administration, the king will be the ultimate authority, but as a king may not be able to go to each and every place, each and every village to address the problems of the citizens. Hence, the division of provinces is necessary. And these provinces, the heads of these provinces will help or will take care of the citizens who are in need of the government. So this ancient administration is about the Mauryan administration and the Gupta administration, whereby these two can be termed as in ancient administration. The Gupta period also consisted of the central administration. That is, central administration means all the decision-making power will be vested with the king only, central level. That is the ancient administration. Now, after the ancient administration, we have the medieval administration. Medieval administration is also termed as Mughal administration. Mughal administration, way back, we have the Mughals. The Mughals administration, these Mughals ruled India for 3 centuries. These Mughals ruled India for 3 centuries, and they have come from Central Asia, and the first Mughal who came to India was Babur. So Babur invaded India and he became the emperor, and from there on we had Aurangzeb, the last Mughal emperor. So, but when we talk about the Mughal administration, now why we are talking about Mughal administration also? Is there so importance of it? Yes, it is. Why? Because when we talk about these Mughals, the first and foremost name what we get into our mind is Akbar, because Akbar was termed as the people's emperor. And we know that Akbar has taken care of the citizens and he has given good administration. Hence, the Mughals administration, the takeaway of this administration is also very important, because when we are studying, when we are in this administrative age, where we are taking something from the age-old administrations, and we are following in the present scenario also. So from Babur to Aurangzeb, only Akbar was termed as a people's emperor, because he was the very great emperor who has ruled India. Why Akbar? We can say Akbar was born in India, and he was more connected to the people. And we all know, when we go deep into the history, he married the Indian princess also. So he was more connected, and he tried to solve the religious issues, all these, and he had given good administration also. Now for that reason, in India, we see an Arabic culture also, Perso-Arabic culture can be seen in India. So the Mughal administration, the Mughals have ruled India for nearly 3 centuries. And the Babur was the first emperor, and he invaded India, and they came from Central Asia, and we can see the Perso or Arabic system in India. So now this can be as a medieval means middle. So medieval administration. Later on, after the Aurangzeb, before Aurangzeb only, the East India Company entered India. East India Company entered India, and they slowly as merchants, they entered in India to do trade. And this British administration, when they started their rule, in 1600 AD, the British started to rule India in the 1600 AD, and this administration, this era is being termed as British administration or modern administration. So the evolution of Indian administration can be divided into 3 parts. Ancient administration, medieval administration, and modern administration. Now, in this modern administration also, this has started in the year 1600 AD, and later on in the year 1857, the company rule, the East India Company rule ended, and the crown took over. Now, when we talk about British administration, everybody think that the East India Company and the British, no. This is divided into 2, East India Company rule and the crown rule. That is, the East India Company, they entered as merchants, and they started to rule India from 1600 AD. And later on, the first revolt of independence, 1857, when this first revolt of independence took, after that, the East India Company couldn't handle the Indian people, and they passed down this administration to the crown, to the queen, and the queen started to rule India. So like that, we had 400 years of British administration, which can be seen in our. Hence, we have more influence of British administration on Indian administration. Why? Because we are only 75 plus years old when we got independence. So we can see more of influence of the British administration. Now, in this British administration, what is the most important aspects which can be related to British administration, and presently we are following today? Those are the district collector, that is civil services, district collector. These are all now because Today also we have the district collectors and the civil services, that is the choosing or selecting the people for selecting the people for the highest positions, that is the civil servants who take care of the Indian administration, who and can be termed as the steel framework of Indian administration. So we today also in the British administration, the most important one is a district collector, where the district collector has a more responsibility, and it has, we can say that, yeah, somebody wants to say something. Somebody has raised hand. Somebody wants to say something. Okay. Now, when we talk about all these, so the British administration, we have more takeaway from the British administration. This is all about the evolution of Indian administration. Now, next we will move on to the second topic, that is Indian administration after independence, continuity and change. Now, what is this Indian administration after independence? That is, we all know after getting independence, there was a chaos in the system, in the society, because the country could not, the politicians, nobody, the freedom fighters, everybody were in a dilemma or were in a confused state, how to run the country, how to take care of the people. And because as we all know, the Britishers, they took away much resources from India, and they left nothing nothing for the Indian people. So for this reason, they couldn't take care of the people. So we had a scenario where nobody could address the problems also. So what was the situation at that time? So the continuity and the change. Continuity means what we have taken from behind. Continuity means what we are continuing after independence also, that is continuing. And change means what we have taken, now what we have transformed into, what we have moved on, how we have moved on and how we have taken over. Now, in that regard, the continuity and the change. In continuity, what are the important things which are continuing from way back from the three administrations? The first one is centralization in administration. Centralization in administration means the centrally. Now, we also, presently also, we have central administration. That is the center. We have at the center the decision making. The Prime Minister is the head of the country, as an executive head of the country. Hence, he is. All the decision making is vested with the center only. Hence, central administration. Second one is district administration. We all know presently also, way back from history, we are talking about district collector. Presently also, we are continuing the district collector. That is, for each district, the head of the district is the district collector only. Then we have local governments. From way back, we are continuing the local governments. That is the villages or the village panchayats, the village, all the means each village has their own facilities and duties to perform. So we are having village administration. That is where from history we are continuing this administration. Then another important one is civil services. Now these civil services, now the father of civil services is Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is being considered as the father of civil services, because he was the person when Britishers were leaving India. He tried to analyze and he tried to take the important information and wanted to continue the civil services in India, because these civil servants helped they were being trained to take care of the people. Hence, he wanted that these people to take over, or these training process to be imbibed into the country also. Hence, we are continuing that civil services presently also. Now, this is all about continuity. Continuity means after independence also, we are continuing some of the important things. Now, what are the major changes which we can see? What are the major changes which we can see in the present scenario? That are the parliamentary democracy. Parliamentary democracy. Now, we all know. Now, parliamentary. What is democracy? We, the people, for the people, of the people, and by the people. That is, we elect our representatives. We elect our representatives, and we have a voice here in the decision making. So, parliamentary democracy, where each one of them have where they can elect their representatives and they can showcase their strength, and they can voice of the people, we can say voice of the people. That is the change, first important one. Then the second one is federal nature. Now, what do you mean by federal nature? Federal nature means two governments, one working at the center and one working at the state level. We have two governments. That is, one at the central level and one at the state level. So both the governments take care of the people. The center may not be able to take care of the people in a whole manner. Hence, it has given the responsibility. It has given the responsibility to the people to defer to the states to take care of the people. Hence, it is a federal in nature, federal system. Two governments, that is one at the center and one at the state level. That is a change, we can say. Now, what is the third topic in the first module? That is, the third module is constitutional framework of Indian administration, or the Indian Constitution. Now, we have studied about the evolution. We have studied about what are the continuity and the changes, what we have brought about in our administration. Now, to continue the administration, to work for the people, we need a constitution where the rules and regulations and laws are being embedded, which will help the people, or which will help the government to take care of the people in a better and efficient manner. Now, when we talk about, first question arises that, do we need a constitution, or what is the importance of this constitution? Yes, there is a need of a constitution. Now, what is the importance of the constitution? This constitution helps the people, not only the people, the government, to run in a very smooth manner. That is, this framing of the constitution consists of all the laws which cannot be broken. That can be, means whichever government. Now, we all know every 5 years we get a new government. Every 5 years we get a new government, and this new government this new governments have come up, and they take their own decisions, right? They take their own decisions. So when we so just to arrest this, just to, yes, anybody wants to say something? Okay. So this administration can be this constitution helps us to follow rules and regulations. They help to take care of the people in a very easy and simpler manner. So we can say that constitution is a document which helps, which is embedded with laws, it is rules and regulations which help the government as well as the citizens to take care of the people. Now, what are the now this constitution? What is the framework of this constitution? The framework of this constitution is it has the preamble. The first page of the constitution can be termed as the preamble, the introductory part. The preamble can be termed as the introductory part of the constitution is known as preamble. We all know, we take a pledge so this preamble is with the sovereign state, that this helps us. The preamble explains us about the introductory part of the preamble. Now, what are the salient features? What are the salient features of this constitution? The salient features of this constitution are the most, we will try to talk about a few of the salient features. It is one of the important salient feature is it is an written constitution. That is, it is an original document. It is an original document which has been written, and it is the largest one. It is a largest constitution and in the whole world. And this has been the second salient feature is it is partly rigid and flexible. Partly rigid means it is, what do we understand by the word rigid? That nobody, whenever they want to, they cannot change. They cannot change the laws or the rules and regulations. And flexible is amendments. That is, what do we understand by the word amendment? Amendment is the altering or changing. If there is, now as the situations are changing, so based on the situations and circumstances, the constitution has given a provision to change or alter the existing provisions or existing articles. Those can be termed as amendments. So this can be partly rigid and flexible. And another important one of a salient feature is the fundamental rights. Now, fundamental rights are the rights which are being given to the citizens of the country. Citizens of the right to live means right to live. Wherever a person wants to live, he can live. That is a fundamental right which is being given by the constitution only. So, no freedom of speech. Nobody can they can talk whatever they wish to. That is not hurting the feelings of the other person. So that is expression of their feelings can be done. Likewise, directive principles of state policy. Now what are these directive principles of state policy? The directive principles of state policy are this gives the rules and regulations or the laws which are being framed for the running of the government. That is, as we all know, every 5 years we get new governments, and the governments should not take whatever decisions they wish to. Hence, they have to follow the constitution. They have to abide by the constitution, and hence what all the laws which are being made, or what all the made in the constitution, every government or whichever governments comes into power, they have to take care of all these, and they have to follow the constitution in the decision making. And these are the directive principles of state policy. Then we have fundamental duties. As we enjoy, as citizens, as we enjoy fundamental rights, where fundamental rights give us the right to expression, right to speech, or right to live, right to settle down, all these rights. In the same way, there are fundamental duties. That is, as a citizen, you should also have the fundamental duties to perform as a citizen. So these are all being amended in the constitution, whereby giving a provision to all the citizens and the government to work in a smoother manner. So the administration cannot be done in a smoother manner unless and until everybody, it might be the government or the citizens, everybody should come on to one platform. That is, when there is a clear understanding, when everybody works together only, then the country can move forward. Another last and important one is we are the secular state. Secular state means, we know in India there are many religions. So that is, all religions are given equal opportunities, equal independence to follow. Means each citizen has an independence to follow whichever religion he wants to. Nobody can pressurize anybody to follow one religion. Or so it is our country is a secular state. Secular means all religions are given respect. Now, this is all about the salient features. Now, when we are talking about Indian Constitution, these are the features which explain us about the laws or the rules and regulations which are being framed for the people and the government. Now, likewise, we also have the constitutional bodies which are being framed in the constitution or in the constitution only. So we can see them. We can say that they are. We can in this we have more of these constitutional bodies are to name a few: the Election Commission, the Controller and Auditor General, the Finance Commission, the we can say the Union Public Service Commission. All these are the constitutional bodies. Constitutional bodies, which are means in the constitution only they have been given the importance, and these have been put in the constitution. Means they are being considered as a constitutional bodies. So this is all about the module 1. That is the Indian administration, evolution of Indian administration, or the historical background of Indian administration. Now we will try to move on to the block 2, legislature, executive and judiciary. Now we have to talk about these three. Now what is legislature? Legislature, executive and judiciary, these are the three organs of the government. These are the three organs of the government. Without any one organ, the government cannot function. The government cannot function in a smooth manner. Now, what is the structure of these? First, we will talk about the structure. Then we will move on to the functions. The structure of these, the legislature. Legislature is, we have two houses in the parliament, that is a Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The Lok Sabha is termed as a people's house. Why? Because all the member of parliament are elected by the people. The members of parliament are elected by the people and they go to the Lok Sabha, that is the people's house. The Rajya Sabha is termed as an elders' house, the elders' house. So these two are the houses of parliament. We have two houses of parliament. They are Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Then we have in the legislature, we have Council of Ministers. Now this Council of Ministers, the Prime Minister also is a Council of a Minister only because he is the head of the Council of Ministers. So here the Council of Ministers are also part of the Parliament because they have to be member of Parliament. Then only they can become a Council of Ministers. If they are not being voted, if they are not being voted as a member of Parliament, then they cannot become a minister. Now, this is all about the legislature. What are the most important functions of the legislature? The most important function of the legislature is to formulate the policies, to formulate the policy. Formulation means making of the policy or law-making body. The parliament is the law-making body. Law-making body, what the laws are being made by the both houses of parliament. That is a important function of the legislature. And second important one we can say is about they have the people when they elect these representatives, they have these representatives have their voice to raise their voice and raise questions. What is legislative and executive? I am explaining. First, let me complete what is legislature. Then I'll explain executive. Legislature is about the parliament. Parliament is the lawmaking body. Legislature. When we elect our members, our minister, our members of parliament, the MPs and the MLAs at the state level and MPs at the central level. So they are termed as the legislatures. The most important function of the legislature is lawmaking, formulation of the law. That is the first one, legislature. Now the executive. Second one is executive. Executive is the implementation, the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. The Prime Minister, Council of Ministers, Chief Minister and the Council of Ministers, they are termed as executives. Executives are implementing the policies, taking care of the people, So we executive have I'll try to explain whatever I can today. Tomorrow also we have a class, so I will try to explain all the topics and you can raise questions. If you have done with all these topics, then we will have the questions. I'll try to answer all your questions. Okay. So I'll just finish it off. Executive is the running of the government. Running of the government. That is, it consists of the Prime Minister, the Council of Ministers, and the government officials. They are termed as the executive, who implement the policies. And judiciary is the court. The judiciary is safeguarding the laws. That is, the judiciary safeguards the laws. If the government takes any decision which is not in the Constitution, which is not in the purview of the Constitution, then the judiciary can take action against the government. So it is the judiciary, the most important function of the judiciary is safeguarding of the laws. It tries to safeguard the laws, and it tries to take care of the who does not. It tries to take care of the Constitution. That is, nobody should go beyond the Constitution. The most important function of the judiciary is to take care of the Constitution. That is, everybody should be in the work in the Constitution only, should work in the purview of the Constitution. The judiciary consists of the structure, consists of the Supreme Court and the High Courts. The Supreme Court is the highest authority. The Supreme Court is the highest authority of law. Then above Supreme Court is the President. Then after the Supreme Court is the High Courts. We have High Courts in all the states. So High Courts will be in each state, and the Supreme Court is at the central level, and it is the highest authority of the judiciary. And the most important function of the judiciary is to safeguard the laws. That is, nobody goes beyond the law. Nobody breaks the law. Everybody should function in the purview of the Constitution only. It takes care that nobody should break the Constitution or the laws framed in the Constitution. Hence, we can say that when the working of the government takes place, legislature, judiciary, and the executive, these three are the organs, three important organs of the state. Without any one organ also, the government cannot run or the state cannot move forward. Hence, all the three are very, very important. And we can say that the citizens also have we can say that the citizens have a weapon in their hands of the judiciary way back, because if a citizen faces any problem, then he can go and appeal to the judiciary where he might get justice. What is the role of the executive in government? That is, executive implementation of the policy, implementation of the policies. Now, for example, implementation of the policy, that is, now the government takes a decision, okay? That decision has to be implemented. Who will implement that? The government officials only, okay? The government officials only implement those policies or the programs. Now, for example, now if the chief minister or the prime minister has come up with a policy or a program, okay? Now that has to be implemented, okay? That has to be implemented. Means it has to be known to everybody. So it has to go into the public. So the government officials go into the public and help the people to understand or to create, they create the awareness to know about the policy, about the policies of the government. That is the most important function of the executive. So we can say that these three are the legislature, executive, and the judiciary. are the three important organs of the government. Without any one, the government cannot move forward. So this is all about the three. Any doubts if you have, you can come up. If you have any doubts, you can come up. I think it's clear. Okay. So in tomorrow's class, we will try to understand the remaining topics and we will move forward. So in the block 2, we can okay. So this is all about today's class. Tomorrow we will try to go with the other topics. Thank you.